Hey, welcome back. Today we're gonna do our analysis of the targeted individual handbook. We are on the part of street theater, and we're gonna continue with the following. Be on the lookout for some of the terrorist psychological tactics these citizen snitches will deploy in public settings. Stare at you, point, whisper, and or giggle as you pass by them. Have directed conversations either with the person they are with or a group or on a cell phone and use keywords as they pass to let you know that they are citizen snitches of the state. So first, they do this. You're gonna see them just walking around and use the words that are going to trigger you or that have to do with what you're going through, and they're going to be enunciated with extra weight. They're going to be stronger, like if they had an accent, to make sure that you notice the word. Now, first of all, why are you going to be looking out for these? For your own benefit. Whenever any of this happens, what you should do is immediately steer your mind to something else, or simply just not pay attention to it and focus on something else. The last thing you should be doing is focusing on this. You don't want to let it brew in your head. You don't want to pay any attention to it. You want to ignore it and not think about it. Thinking about it is what gives it power. So you want to just not pay any attention to it. You want to tell yourself that it's not important, and you just simply keep on with your day. Focus on something that is pleasant for you to think about. Bullying at work, friends, family, suddenly lost, leading to isolation. Bullying in general, because of what appears as social problems with other people, the targeted individual moves to a place where the attackers and the manipulators can't spread around any kind of rumor for people in the neighborhood and can take control in another way. First of all, the rumors only matter to the target if there is some type of truth to them. When they are completely irrelevant, you don't even know they're about you. So if there are rumors about you, what you do is simply stop engaging in that type of behavior, and you really cannot control what people think. In fact, you're never gonna know what people think, because no one can read minds. They can deduce what you're thinking, but they can't ever know for certain what you're thinking. So what you have to do is simply behave like a normal, law-abiding citizen and minimize any type of behavior that can lead to rumors. For example, when I was using drugs, I felt that gangstalkers were telling the barista at the Starbucks that I just was about to walk in that I was gonna go and use smoke crystal meth in the restroom. I'm still sure that that person said that, and I did buy something, and I did notice that the barista did look at me in a funny way. I'm pretty sure that actually happened, because they did the same thing to me at work, where a gangstalker went to my work and literally told them that I was parked somewhere and they could hear the torch clicking. So if you're getting gangstalked, this is gonna happen, where they're gonna meddle in your life, and they're gonna try to spread rumors. But they can be true and they might not. But this is where you have to pretty much eliminate any type of possibility for them to be meddling. Like, I know it is none of their business, and it feels unfair. because it is. Because why do they care? But that just means that there is some type of truth to this, you know. So what I should have done is simply just stop. But the thing is that during this time was when I was dealing with gang stalkers pushing me into that type of behavior. So it was hard for me to stop because I didn't know that I was being indirectly manipulated. So the best thing that you can do when these rumors are being spread is pretty much use isolation to your benefit. Isolate yourself and then just be you. If you're going to be engaging in this type of behavior while you're working or whatever, it's unfair, I know, but there's not going to be anything you can do about it. So the only thing you can do about it is be on your best behavior and not focus on what others are thinking about you, because when you're focused on that, you pretty much give them all your attention, and that's what they want. All you have to do is steer your mind away from what are they thinking about me, and you have to pretty much just focus on you doing the best you can do at your job. But you cannot be focused on you are going to be paranoid. So that's what the rumors do, is that you're just going to be paranoid about, you're going to be constantly thinking, do they know about what I'm doing? Do they not know about what I'm doing? And that's how you're going to get your mind tired, because it's going to be racing about this. So they're going to meddle in your relationships, and you're going to feel uncomfortable in any type of social situation. And these rumors are going to be inevitable if you're engaging in that type of behavior. And the way you eliminate it is by simply stopping. And it might be hard. It will be hard, actually, especially if you're going through something, and like I was trying to find some type of relief from all the other things that I had been encountering, and I was being indirectly manipulated into engaging in this behavior. So right now I'm talking about this as if it was really easy, because now I'm talking to you about it from the other side, where I'm not being indirectly manipulated, where I am staying away from any type of outside force that is trying to manipulate me into behavior that will be conducive to more gang stalking. So I was wondering, if most TIs are homeless, they have drug problems or whatever, you know, if you're a TI and you're going through something like that, if you're a TI and you're having drug problems, addiction problems, whatever, ask yourself, were you always drug addicted? How did you become homeless? How did other people influence you? Why did you engage in this behavior? Did you have friends encouraging you to behave like this? How did your friends react to your demise? Question their friendship. Was it actual friendship, or were they trying to dig you deep? Were they always your friends? You have to question everything, because you might not even be aware that you have been getting gang stalked way before you realized it, like I did. So it was not going to be easy. But let me tell you, if you were targeted, it was probably because you were an amazing person, and you were putting on a show by turning into something that is not you. And that's the show that they want. But just question everything. What happened to you that made you like this? What were the intentions of the other people that were surrounding you? How did your friends react? Maybe it was not your fault. I'm not saying it was all the gang stalkers, but they might have a bigger part in it that you can possibly know. So start questioning everything. How did you get there? What happened? Look for red flags that you saw before that you didn't really accept. Because gang stalkers have an ease of pretending to be your friends, when in reality, they just want to destroy you. Now, moving on. Street theater. Oh no, wait. Gang stalking. So rude people in crowds that appear to insult the individual using both verbal and non-verbal communication. Having 20 people or more strategically placed to, for example, look with a hateful look at the targeted individual. They are all strangers. They are all rude. They appear every time the TI is outside, and it can take many different expressions. Sometimes it looks like they have some kind of scheme and the harassment follows a pattern. And when it achieves a certain stage, they reset themselves and starts all over again. So this goes again with a cycle. So I'm not sure, I haven't placed a term for it, but there is some type of harassment cycle that is, I'm not sure if it's just mental or if it's real. And I'm gonna tell you, because I'm telling you this because I had a recent one, but I was I was sober enough to be able to analyze it from another perspective. So it just happened where I began feeling this type of pressure coming up, and the gang stalkers began using the keywords, and then they began doing this, but I'm not sure if it was just me perceiving their movements as the gang stalking sign, or if they were actually doing it. I'm actually almost sure by now that it was just my perception, but I'm not sure. So I'm like 50-50, where everywhere I looked, they just did the fast movement everywhere I looked, and then I began feeling this pressure building up in my head. And then it got to a point where I began talking to a customer, and boom, my voice just broke. And I could barely muster a smile. And it all stopped at once. Like, poof, everything just was normal. It might be a combination of both. But then when it stopped, I again pretended like nothing was happening. And then I went to check on the oil filters. And my boss came in, and she looked at me and she said, "Not yet?" Like if I wasn't connected yet. I wasn't perceiving everything. I wasn't perceiving the high mileage products as gang stalkers telling me that that I was a high mileage individual, as in having had a lot of sex with people. I wasn't perceiving it like I used to before. So I feel that it might be a combination of both, but I feel like they see it, because everything stopped the moment my voice crackled. It was the craziest thing ever. So like it reset, but it stopped. Now, street theater. A group of people play out a whole show for the individual. It appears to follow a predetermined plot, following the targeted individual's thinking. The thought surveillance is perceived as humiliating. The home is entered, and the perpetrators don't steal things but can destroy them, or they can leave objects that don't belong in there. They often seem to enter with a key because the doors are not forced. Thefts in town, at airports, money belongings destroyed, means of transportation, car or bike. So gang stalking has this effect where where there's gaps in your memory, and everything is so crazy, like your life is so chaotic, especially when you're getting harassed, that you're gonna have significant gaps on where you left things, on things that happened to you, and you're just gonna forget. Like I literally one time left moved something and I couldn't find it, and I had literally just placed it. So I thought that gang stalkers were using some type of machine to get. I thought they were able to get into my thoughts and mess up with my memories, because I literally had just placed my phone on a particular place, and I forgot. I didn't remember for my life that I placed it there, and I had just placed it there seconds ago. But it was because my mind was so tired, because I had been up for a couple of days. Well, not maybe a couple of days, but I had been using drugs and my body was tired and I had not given it enough rest. So there were gaps in my memory, and I attributed those gaps to gang stalkers, when in reality, my mind was simply tired from all the overthinking and all the gang stalking things that were happening. So you can forget where you left things, and you will immediately, just like I attributed my loss of memory to gang stalkers, it's really easy to attribute the freaking vents on your car being moved because you don't remember you moved them last time. Your phone charger being somewhere and not remember where you put it. It is really easy for you to start attributing your loss of memory, forgetting where you place things, to gang stalkers. Even when you're sober and completely aware, you're gonna forget where you place things, but you don't have the narrative that gang stalkers are after you. So you're not gonna believe that gang stalkers did that to you, especially if you're not a TI. So it is a lot of perception mind fuckery, where you simply are gonna start attributing things that happen to you that are trivial to gang stalkers, such as leaving your keys somewhere. But I will tell you, there will be times where it is possible where they do get where you left your things, and things are going to be moved around. But that happened to me like once. And if you have something, a gang stalker living with you, who's your roommate or something, they're going to grab your shit and move it around. But that is something that gang stalkers just do. People that just want to mess with you, especially if they know you're a TI, they're going to be messing with you in as many ways as possible to mess with you, period. Now, for a long time, I thought that gang stalkers were messing with my car, because there was a time where I literally, where there was the undercover of my car, it was falling off, but I never did anything of it, and I thought it was gang stalkers. So I just, out of pride, I just left it there, and it caused problems because it yanked out the cables from my headlights. So now I'm like only with like one headlight, and it's awful. But do not let your pride of not working on something that is going on, that went wrong, because you don't want gang stalkers to see you working on it. I let my pride get the best of me, and it led to more trouble. So if there's something wrong, fix it immediately. If you feel that gang stalkers did it or not, just fix it. It's gonna save you problems, and it's gonna make you feel better. And now we're going to the use of color. We're gonna cover that on the next video. Thank you for watching.